This is a No One Go Alert. Here's Jonathan O.
Hello, I'm Jonathan O reporting to you from Tokyo. This is a No and Go alert in regards to Typhoon Jebi as it has continued to move through the western areas of Japan and is heading toward the north. It has been a long day for us here in Japan, and for those of you who have been watching closely, you probably already know the latest information so far, but here's a quick summary of what we know at this point. At least 6 people have died, and we have more than 100 people who have been injured due to the typhoon passing through the western portions of Japan. The storm made landfall initially in Tokushima Prefecture a little bit after noon on Tuesday, and then soon after that, we had a second landfall that took place near Kobe in Hyogo Prefecture. For those who are living in the Kinki region over into the Chugoku regions, you are getting the brunt of this storm. The Shikoku region also seeing the same type of impact. The storm did eventually move back out into the Sea of Japan as we went into the evening hours after sunset, but the circle of influence with this storm in terms of tropical storm force winds did extend all the way out into even the Kanto Koshin region. Here in Tokyo, we were getting some pretty strong gusts as well, so it was an interesting trip for me to walk outside after finishing up work. We are expecting the winds to be a part of the story for the eastern areas of Japan as we go throughout the day on Wednesday. And for those further up toward the north into the Tohoku region, extending up into Hokkaido, you will also start to feel the impact of this particular storm as it moves toward the north. It is moving up in its momentum in terms of its speed, and so because of that, the storm will start to deteriorate, but nevertheless, it will still have its momentum and bring those storm type of impacts as we go through the day on Wednesday. So for the moment, it looks like that the storm will be a foregone conclusion in terms of the story by the time we go into late Wednesday and early Thursday morning. But the concern is, from this point on, is the recovery effort. Kansai International Airport, which is the main international airport for that region in the western portion of Japan, is inaccessible at this point. Earlier during the day, a fuel tanker ran into the bridge that connects it between the island area and also with the airport. The airport is located on reclaimed land, and so because of that, there's not a huge amount of elevation. As the storm went on shore, it brought a huge amount of water as part of the storm surge, and that caused the entire airport to become inundated with water. And now that the bridge that's connecting the island itself to the main portion of Japan, there is limited access at this point. So it looks like that's going to cause additional problems as we go throughout the next couple of days. According to NHK, at least 3,000 travelers are stranded at Kansai International Airport. A nearby hotel has opened up to allow those travelers who are stranded to be accommodated in the interim. But this particular storm has led to problems when it comes to accessing international flights and even domestic flights. Now, there are a couple of other flight options out of the Kansai area when it comes to domestic flights. Kobe Airport and also the Osaka International Airport at Itami Airport. Those are accessible, but when it comes to international flights, Kansai International is the one primarily responsible for the region. So that's going to cause some additional issues. On top of that, the Shinkansen that was connecting Tokyo over to Hiroshima has also been stopped. So anybody trying to go from Kansai to Tokyo in order to get to access like Narita International Airport also will have problems because they can't use it. At least at the time of this recording, they were having some problems with that as well. So it is a real mess. It is really a problem. And if you saw any of the video, if you just go online, you'll be able to see the video. I can't put that video on here because obviously the rights belong to those who shot the video. But if you just go online and look for some of the video, it's truly incredible what took place during the day, because we had trucks, large trucks. Now, they may not be as large as the 18-wheelers in the United States, but nevertheless, these are large trucks that get toppled over because of these strong winds. And we've had roofs, tiles completely being blown away. And portions of buildings collapsing because of the strong winds that were taking place as well. So this storm is the strongest storm to hit Japan since 1993 when it comes to the typhoon, a very strong typhoon coming on shore and making landfall. And so it's going to take some time for the recovery, and it's not particularly helpful given the fact that the western areas of Japan already dealt with a natural disaster earlier in July, and also just the other week in the Hokuriku region, dealing with some serious flooding because of the heavy rainfall that took place. And now we're dealing with the aftermath of a typhoon. So once this typhoon clears out, we're going to be dealing with cleanup, and interestingly enough, just like in July when we had to deal with the cleanup efforts after the heavy rainfall, we're talking about hot weather returning, so that's going to make it even more difficult for people trying to do the cleanup. We're talking about temperatures in the mid-30s. We're talking about humidity levels as well that are going to be high. It's not going to feel very pleasant outdoors for the next few days as we have a southerly breeze coming into Japan. I do want to say, in terms of if there's any type of bright spot, in terms of the fact that we're not expecting a lot of rainy activity, especially for the western areas of Japan, once we see the system departing for the next few days. But like I mentioned, it's going to be on the hot and sticky side, which is going to make it a little bit more challenging for recovery efforts. So keep the folks in the western portions of Japan, especially in your prayers. And for those of us here in the central, eastern, and northern areas of Japan, we're going to be dealing with at least what is, for the moment, Typhoon Jebi as it continues to move toward the north. It is expected to deteriorate into a low-pressure system during the day on Wednesday and hopefully completely depart out of the area by the time we go into the evening hours on Wednesday. So that is a quick summary of what has been taking place, what we know at this point. And hopefully we will be able to see the recovery efforts taking place relatively soon. This has been a No and Go Alert. I'm Jonathan reporting to you from Tokyo.